Homestead Budgeting App Review and Tutorial for Animals and Garden Life for America, Australia, Canada, the UK, France, Germany, Norway, and Switzerland. I've been running animals and a garden for years, and I can tell you Homestead Budgeting is nothing like regular budgeting. Your income is lumpy, your expenses are seasonal, and one surprise vet bill can wipe out your farmer's market profit for the month. After testing pretty much every app people recommend, here's what actually feels like it works when you have feed bags in the truck and dirt under your nails. The apps and how they actually feel to use Home Budget with Sync. This one feels like the old farm truck everyone borrows. It is not pretty, and you will never see influencers making reels about it, but it starts every time, it hauls everything, and it does not care if you have bad cell service in the barn. What I love is the family sync. My partner can log a bag of goat feed at the store, and I see it instantly while I'm in the garden. Right? No more texting. Hey, did you already buy fencing? You can attach photos of receipts, so when you grab 10 things at the feed store, you just snap the slip and forget about it. Categories go as deep as you want. I run animal feed and bedding, then break it into chickens, ducks, goats, and pigs, because each one costs different money. Same with garden, where I do spring garden, fall garden, perennials, and preserving. The reports are basic, but they are honest. I can see that animal feed took 40% of spending last month because we stocked up for winter. The downside is the design. It looks like 2012. If you need pretty charts to stay motivated, you will not get a dopamine hit here. For the US, Canada, Australia, the UK, France, Germany, Norway, and Switzerland, it just works. It does not rely on bank sync, so when you're in Norway or Switzerland and bank APIs are a mess, you just enter numbers and move on. That independence feels like freedom when other apps break. EveryDollar. EveryDollar feels like a financial pep rally. Rachel Cruz is basically in your ear reminding you to check restaurant spending, log transactions daily, and plan next month with your partner before the month starts. The paycheck planning feature is the star for homesteaders. You tell it when your egg money usually hits and when property tax is due, and it maps the gap. Suddenly you realize you are not bad with money. You just had bills hit before income. That mindset shift is huge. In America, it feels smooth and encouraging. The app is, free to use manually, and bank sync costs extra. Yeah, outside America, the vibe changes. People in Canada, Australia, and the UK keep saying bank sync is missing or unreliable. So you get all the philosophy, but only half the tools. Subjectively, I love the teaching, but I get frustrated fast when an app assumes I live in the US. If you are in France, Germany, Norway, or Switzerland, and you do not care about bank sync, you can still use it manually. The zero-based method works anywhere. You just have to accept you are getting the free version experience forever. YNAB, you need a budget. YNAB is the intense coach who is kind but strict. It runs on 4 rules. And the biggest one for homesteaders is give every dollar a job. When $500 from a pig sale hits your account, you decide right away. $200 goes to the fencing fund, $100 to property tax, $50 to emergency vet, $50 to household, and $100 to fun. You do not let it sit in checking where it quietly becomes pizza and random seed orders. The app forces you to face your busy tax. That is what the Prairie Homestead calls all the little leaks like duplicate seed buys, forgotten thawed meat, and emergency runs for 1 bag of feed. Most families leak around $3,000 a year without noticing. YNAB makes that leak visible, and it stings. The first month is emotionally exhausting. You feel broke because you finally see reality. Month 2 and 3, you feel powerful because you are telling money where to go before the chaos starts. Bank connections work well in America, Canada, the UK, and Australia. In Germany and France, it works, but you often import files instead of live sync. In Norway and Switzerland, live sync is rare, so you are doing manual entry. Subjectively, that is the tension with YNAB. It demands perfection and awareness. But if your country's banks do not play nice, you are doing more work than the app expected. Still, for animals and garden, the method is gold because it forces you to build sinking funds for canning season, vet emergencies, and infrastructure. Monarch feels like that friend who has a beautiful bullet journal, except it is digital. It is calm, visual, and flexible. You can do the 50-30-20 rule, or you can go full custom and make categories for soil amendments, chick brooder season, canning lids, and emergency vet. The big win this year is full multi-currency support. If you are in Canada dealing with CAD and USD for supply orders, or in the UK with pounds, or in France and Germany with euros, or in Switzerland with francs, it finally handles it without freaking out. I open Monarch when I am tired because the interface is clean and the graphs are pretty. Seeing a pie chart that says garden was only 8% this month calms my scarcity brain. It also does forecasting. It looks at your last 12 months and projects, cash out 60 years. When you see that graph, you either think I'm actually going to retire or I need to step up my farmer's market hustle. The downside is it is a paid subscription. When a fox takes your hens and feed costs spike, paying for a budget app feels insulting. Also, it is still US-centric in some assumptions, but it is getting better for Australia, Canada, the UK, and Europe. Goodbudget. Goodbudget feels like cash envelopes your grandma used, except on your phone. You set up envelopes for feed, vet, seeds, and property tax, and you fill them on payday. When the envelope is empty, you stop spending. There is no bank sync at all, which sounds like a flaw, but subjectively, it feels safe. No data sharing, no broken connections, no subscription surprise. For France, Germany, Norway, and Switzerland, where privacy laws are strict and people are wary of connecting accounts, this feels respectful. The app is quiet and simple. The downside is speed. You have to think and tap for every transaction. When you are kidding goats at 2 a.m. and also buying emergency milk replacer at 7 a.m., you do not want to allocate envelopes. But if you are disciplined, it works in every single country on your list with zero fuss. Tutorial how to set up your Homestead budget in 7 days, day one. Pick your philosophy before your app. Decide if you want zero based like YNAB and EveryDollar, where every dollar gets assigned. Or envelope like Goodbudget, where you fill categories and stop when empty. Or tracking like Monarch, where you watch trends and adjust. Your personality matters more than the app. If you hate rules, do not pick YNAB. If you need rules to feel safe, do not pick a loose tracker. Day 2, build your category structure. Forget generic groceries, gas, and fun. You need homestead-specific buckets. Start with these, then customize. Animal feed and bedding. Break it into species, because a pig is not a chicken. Vet and health. Include routine stuff like vaccines and emergency like bloat treatment. Infrastructure and fencing. Posts, wire, gates, co-ops, water lines, heat lamps, brooders. If you do not separate this, it hides inside household and you never know your true cost. Breeding and stock. New animals, stud fees, hatching eggs, garden seeds and start soil, amendments and fertilizer, compost, manure, lime, cover crop, bone meal, tools and irrigation, hoses, drip tape, mulch, canner, pressure gauge, row cover, preserving and storage, jars, lids, freezer bags, propane for the canner, electricity for the extra freezer, property tax and insurance. The government and predators do not care if it was a bad tomato year. Household bills, power, internet, phone, the normal stuff. Income from Homestead. Eggs, produce, meat, soap, wool, honey, market sales. Track this or you will never know if the garden actually pays for itself. Emergency buffer. Aim for at least one major vet bill or one infrastructure disaster. Fun and family. Burnout is expensive, so budget for pizza and a movie. Day 3, invite your household. If your partner buys straw while you are at work, they need to log it. Shared responsibility or it fails. Home budget. With Sync and Goodbudget, both do this without drama. Day 4, add recurring transactions, feed delivery every 4 weeks goes in. Mortgage or land payment goes in. CSA membership you pay monthly goes in. Hay subscription goes in. In Home Budget with Sync or YNAB, you set these once and hit record all recurring on the first. That 5-minute task replaces an hour of, oh no, did I pay the feed store? Day 5, build sinking funds. Homestead life is seasonal. Think about your year. January is planning and ordering. February is seed starting indoors, and the power bill spikes from grow lights. March is chick season and brooder costs. April is garden prep, compost, and fencing repair. May is plan out and irrigation setup. June is first harvest and preserving begins. July is canning season, lids, jars, propane, huge expense. August is more preserving, predator pressure, new fence for the barn. September is fall garden and school expenses. October is butcher costs if you raise meat, fall vaccines, straw for winter. November is property tax, deer season processing if you hunt. December is gifts, slower income, extra heating. Now make a fund for each spike. Canning season fund starts in March, and you drop $30 in per month. By July, you have $120 and lids do not wreck you. Fence repair fund gets $20 a month because something always breaks in mud season. Property tax fund gets a set amount every month, so November is not a panic. This is the magic that makes homestead budgeting feel calm. Day 6, set up your daily habit. 2 minutes at night, open the app and enter what you spent. Rachel Cruz pushes this, and she is right. If you wait a week, you forget, and your busy tax grows. Day 7, do your first monthly review. Look at each category. Ask 3 questions. What surprised me? What was necessary? What can change? Did garden go 200 over because the well pump broke? Okay, that was necessary. Move money from fund and note to increase infrastructure next year. Did animal feed go under because pasture was great? Sweep that extra into emergency buffer. Budgeting is not a diet. It is a garden. You observe, adjust, and try again. Then plan this on the next month before it starts. Now look at the calendar, and you know, are you kidding in March? Are you canning in August? Is property tax due in November? Or assign dollars to those jobs before the month begins. How this plays out by country America, you have the most options. EveryDollar, YNAB, Monarch, and Home Budget with Sync all work with BankSync. Customer service is U.S.-based and fast. Sales tax and property tax are big, so your categories need those. Canada, very similar to America, but watch for bank sync fees. YNAB and Monarch work well. EveryDollar users complain sync is missing. Use multi-currency if you buy supplies from the U.S. Australia bank feeds work with YNAB and Monarch. Seasons are flipped, so your July is canning season for some and winter prep for others. Adjust your sinking fund calendar 6 months off North America. UK open banking makes YNAB and Monarch connect pretty well. Property tax is called council tax, so rename that category. VAT on supplies can be reclaimed if you are registered, so track it separately. France bank connections are improving, but many people prefer manual for privacy. Monarch handles euros now. YNAB works with file, import, name categories in your language so your partner uses it. Watch for annual taxe foncière and add a fund. Germany, similar to France with a strong privacy culture. Goodbudget and Home Budget with Sync feel comfortable here. If you use YNAB, expect to import CSV files. Track Runfunc, ByTrag, and property tax as separate lines. Norway Bank API access is limited and many apps do not connect. Subjectively, manual entry apps win. Home Budget with Sync, Goodbudget, and Real Budget feel best. Track property tax and wealth tax if it applies. Also track winter costs because heating and lighting for animals is huge. Switzerland. Same story as Norway with francs and strict banks. Manual apps are king. Monarch now handles CHF, so that is new and helpful. Swiss homesteaders often keep a spreadsheet as backup. Name categories carefully because multiple languages may be in one house. Final subjective. Takeaways. No app will fix the chaos of animals and garden. You will still get a $900 vet bill in December and a $200 jar lid shortage in July. But the right app makes you feel like you are driving the tractor instead of hanging on behind it. If you and your partner need simple, shared, and no bank drama, start with Homebudget with Sync. If you need strict help and you can handle truth bombs, go YNAB. If you need pretty and calm to stay consistent, go Monarch. If you are in Europe and want privacy, go Goodbudget. If you are in America and love the Dave Ramsey teaching, go EveryDollar. You will not get it perfect the first month. Your categories will be wrong, and you will forget to log. That is fine. Adjust and keep going. In 3 months, you will have data. In 6 months, you will have peace. In a year, you will have a real homestead budget that can handle goats, chickens, tomatoes, and whatever else you dream up. Tell me what animals you have, how big the garden is, and which country you are in right now. I will help you set the exact categories and sinking funds so you can start this week without guessing.